I'm coming at you today with something a little bit different. This doesn't really fit with the theme of my channel, but please bear with me. This is something that I've wanted for like 10 or 12 years. Basically what they are is they are boots or leg sleeves, I don't know what to call them, that you put on and they massage your legs. The point of it's not so much for like comfort, although I guess you could go for that, but I used to be a strength athlete. I did powerlifting, strongman. I started, if you go way back, with CrossFit, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And before that, I had just kind of fiddle-farted around doing like, not bodybuilding as a competitive sport, but bodybuilding as a pursuit. So I've been lifting for, I don't know, gosh, at this point, 21, 22 years. And then 5 or 6 years ago, I tore my meniscus. I guess it was about 7 years ago now. I tore my meniscus, and like a stubborn person, I kept training on it. And that did even more damage. And after a month of that, I finally was like, hey, I should probably take it easy. Could have fried an egg on my knee. It was so hot. And I still kind of suffer from that today. It's never been repaired or anything. I've never had anyone look at it from a standpoint of fixing it. I digress. I've now mostly retired from like competing and stuff, but I still have a squat rack in the garage. I have a bike erg. We actually have 2 bike ergs, Concept 2 bike ergs in the basement. We like to ride. I always wanted one of these things, and I was in a position to get them. So without further ado, these are the SoleFlux Relax Ublives, something like that. They're recovery boots. So not only do I love using these things, but my wife, as soon as my cycle ends, she just takes her blanket off of her on the couch and starts pulling up her pants because she just wants me to pass them over to her. So we've had them a week and a half, and I've used them every single day. She's used those, or used them maybe 8 of those days. So yeah, they're pretty cool. I'll show you them here in operation in a minute, but I like these ones because they're very competitively priced. Some of the competition goes for like $1,000, $799. These $599. Well, yes, that seems excessive. I really think these things are great. So they have 3 settings. I prefer the circulation setting. It starts like at the bottom and then moves up to the top, and then goes through those cycles to, like, you know, improve return of blood and lymphatic fluid and stuff through your circulatory system and through your lymphatic system. I like to put it on a strength level 4. There's 5 intensity levels. By default, it goes to 3. When I first started using it, 3 was plenty. And then as I got used to it, I have kind of sensitive legs. I've moved up to 4. My wife has used 5 a couple of times. I used it for like 30 seconds and was like, this is not for me. And that could just be because I do carry a lot of fat in my legs, especially up in my thighs and stuff, and it gets pretty snug. I generally have edema in my legs because I sit all day for work, and then I sit all evening for school and for YouTube. So I don't get around and move a lot, and I'll show you that. It's definitely made a difference. A week and a half of use, and my feet and ankles are noticeably thinner. So are my legs. I actually have baggy skin in my ankles after I use them that kind of looks like, let's say, a coin purse, because it gets all that fluid out of there and moving around. Not really noticed any difference with my blood pressure or anything, but they feel wonderful, especially if we go out in the sauna. I come in and shower and then pop these on. Like, I don't care how much caffeine I have in my system. I just want to fall asleep because I feel so good. One thing I will caveat is, depending on the size of your thighs, you do have a little bit of room up there, but my wife has trouble zipping them up all the way if she has pants on. I can do it with my shorts, and it's still pretty loose. But if you have fatter thighs, yeah, like most men will probably have no issue whatsoever. It'll be the curvier women or the women that carry a lot of adipose tissue in their thighs and maybe even have like massive, you know, hamstrings and stuff, quads. So that's one thing to think about. The other thing is, I would actually recommend that you don't have fabric between the inside of this and your skin when you run them, because, you know, there's the tubes and stuff in there and the airbags or whatever, and they'll constrict. And if your clothing's folded at all, it'll create like pressure points. So what I do is when I put them on, I just pull my shorts and underwear up a little to my quads. Just something to be aware of. You'll figure it out pretty quick. Now, it does claim 300 minutes of working time. I believe that's on level 1. My wife and I have been doing it for a half hour each. We get about 3 hours on the level 4 setting. So as far as charging, they each have their own battery. They have USB-C, and you just charge each unit. And that works out pretty nice. Now, one thing that I'm kind of concerned about over the long term is the way these things clip on. Let me show you real quick. So here's where the pump does all the air stuff. I'm guessing it has 5 different zones, or maybe some of those are for return. So you just clip it on. So you've only got those 2 little connection points there. And I kind of worry about the longevity of that. If that breaks, you're not going to be able to secure that on. You could still use them, though. It would just be annoying because you'd have to hold the units to the thing. And if you're doing 30 minutes, that could get tedious. But, you know, they may hold up pretty well. I'm trying to only take them off when I go to charge them. And even if you had like a dedicated space, you could just leave them on all the time. But the first few times I was taking them on and off, and I was like, I don't know how long that's going to hold. As far as the zipper, sometimes the zipper will also become a little uncomfortable. That's only on 4, and definitely when I had it on setting 5. I've noticed that if you just kind of, it'll depend on your leg, let's say that. Sometimes if I have my foot in the like bottom part wrong, it will pinch the back of my Achilles, the skin, or it'll pluck at hair or something. The vast majority of the time it doesn't, and if it starts to do that right away, what I do is I just turn it off, and then I readjust how it's sitting on my leg. Problem goes away. So you'll figure that out. Other than that, yeah, like I just love these things. They're so great. I wish I would have had these when I was actively like competing and training. I'm getting definite benefit, like I said, with my edema and stuff in my feet, and it's so much nicer. My shoes don't feel tight ever now. Actually, my dress shoes for church the other day felt ridiculously loose because all that fluid retention was gone from my feet, and that's, you know, it just improving the circulation of the blood and the lymphatic system, which requires mechanical action. So it's doing that. Great. Let me put them on and I'll show you how they kind of work. So here we have them on. And like I said, I've got my shorts right there now. I'll pull those up here shortly. No pun intended. Now I've noticed if I keep my feet completely inside the boot, I wear a 10.5, so my feet aren't really long. But if I keep them where I can't see my big toe, then they're the most comfortable for me. I did have my toe sticking out a couple of times, just ever so slightly, which requires really tugging these up and working it. And I had a lot of the pinching going on there just because of the position of the fabric and where the air bags and stuff are. So here's your unit. You have to control both of them. This button turns it on. This changes the intensity setting. This changes the time, and then this changes the mode. So we'll turn it on here. We'll go to 10 minutes because I'm not going to do this for long. And we'll set it to circulation. Let me get this one on circulation. There we go. Right now it's filling the feet. Let's see if you can notice it. You can kind of see it inflating there. I more feel it than see it. As it starts to get full, though, you will start to notice it. They get really puffy, but it's pretty quiet, as you can tell. We have it on 3 right now. We'll move it to 4. It'll get a little bit louder. So while that's inflating, let's talk a little more about them. The air pumps in here, if I run it for 30 minutes, they do just start to get a little bit warm. So usually when I pass them over to my wife, she'll just wait a few minutes and kind of let them cool down a little. If you ever need to emergency stop them, you just grab the buttons, pop it off if it's super uncomfortable, and the air immediately just starts coming out. That's nice. Oh yeah, see, now you can see how they're nice and thick, and now it's moving up into here, and it'll move up into here, and then it'll go down there and start releasing, and then it'll keep doing that for the cycle. Guys, I love these things. So let me let this run for a little bit, and I'll show you what 5 minutes or so does to my legs. Now, those markings that you're going to see, they do go away half hour, hour. It's just like with compression socks. You know, it's just squeeze the skin or whatever, and it'll go away. Well, I was too busy scrolling TikTok to get the last few seconds, but they're deflating now enough that you can unzip them. They just turn off when the timer runs out. And like I said, you can plug that out and you can hear the air coming out. So yeah, let me get these off real quick and I'll show you what my legs look like. Well, I'm not going to let you deviants see my feet for free, so we'll just show you the legs. And as you can see, you get a little bit of lines. Now, had I done it for my 30 minutes, those would have been a little bit more severe. And, you know, it's just like wearing compression socks. That'll go away. It helps with the circulation and stuff, helps with recovery. And yeah, I love these things. There'll be a link to them in the description, link in the sticky comment. I know this isn't really kind of the direction I'm going with my channel, but I love these things. I always wanted them. I'd never actually seen anyone talk about them that I like knew or trusted or anything. And yeah, I just thought I'd make a video real quick. I wish I would found a way to have afforded these 10, 12 years ago. They're just so great. Like, I'm paranoid that if anything ever happens to them, that I'll be without them, kind of like my bed jet. And I'm like, should I get a second pair and just like keep them in the closet in reserve? I can't live without my bed jet either. And now my sauna, I can't live without my sauna. By the way, the sauna, if you've seen that video, it's back on the channel. I did 30 days in a row. I think in the video I had done 14 days in a row. I did do the 30 days in a row, and I was going to make a video, and then I was like, well, maybe not. I think I'll revisit it in the spring and kind of talk about it. I'm at 46 or 47 days now. Just going to do it once or twice a week because it's been kind of hot. Once it gets cold, it might be a little bit more. But I love that thing too. Just all these cool little things that are affordable enough if you save for them. Just, I don't know, they make my quality of life better. They make me feel better. They let me relax. The first minute or two of this is always uncomfortable for me because I have the sensitive legs. Like if my wife touches them, I like involuntarily react. Once I get through that first minute or so, I just like get into it and I get relaxed and I love it. I will see you guys in the next video. We'll be back to 3D printing and other stuff in those videos. I've got about 5 3D printing videos in progress. I've got a 3D printer review that I just need to edit. Spoilers, did not like that printer. And I actually have some resin printing going in the garage. I don't think it's for me, but we'll explore that in a video or two too. I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.